told you I was going to ask you for a check. What I didn't tell you is I'm going to ask you for more than one. We've got envelopes that look like this. They're on the table, right where you came in, okay? It's got all this stuff that they want to know for the finance, campaign finance stuff. They want to know that stuff. What I want, please, is for every one of you to bring 2 of these home. They're for your next check and the check after that. Because don't think for a moment that our opponents aren't doing that. Don't think for a moment that they're not giving, there aren't some of them giving 10% of everything they earn to their cause. This is not something that is just worth 1/3 of 1% of my income. Money isn't all of it. Volunteering is important as well. And not everybody can do phone banks. I can't do them. I can't, oh, I get rude. I'm nasty. But I come here and I can make a pretty good pitch, so that's what I do. We need people to run the phone banks. We need people to write letters to the editor. We need people to wear buttons and bumper stickers and talk to people and talk to your friends and your neighbors, because this is how it became that gay people were not the scary ones. You know, when gay people came out and said, hey, that's me you're talking about, we became less frightening. So when we say to our friends and neighbors, hey, my cousin wants to get married, or I met this woman, Dawn, and she really wants to get married. This is important stuff, and it's about equality. When we say those things to our neighbors, it makes a difference. That's how you change the world. One person at a time. One town at a time, one district at a time. We can do it, okay? But we can't do it without everybody's help. We've got buttons, we've got bumper stickers, we've got lots of envelopes. Take 3 or 4 or 5. That's fine, that's fine, okay? It's not without hope. We've had some amazing stories of hope. I went up to Machias a couple weeks ago for the Machias Blueberry Festival. Now, Washington County, Maine, is not what anyone would describe as a hotbed of progressive thought. It's just not. I mean, it's rural Maine, it's down east, it's lobstermen and blueberries and rural living, and that's wonderful. They've got a college, but this is before the college kids were back, so it was townies, not college kids, okay? And we're at the Blueberry Festival, and we're collecting support and signatures and things like that for the campaign. And this woman goes by us, and she's got, this older couple goes by, and a gentleman goes by, and he looks at our sign and sort of walks off. And I thought, well, you know, we've been shouted at and prayed at and told we were going to burn in hell and told to just go home and all sorts of, I mean, we endured some stuff up there. And his wife came by, and she had one of those little walker things with a little handlebar, you know, the little lockdown grippy things, and a flip down seat. And he said something to her, and she turned, she looked at our sign, she locked down the thing, and she shuffled up to us. She said, "Where do I sign?" This woman's in her 80s. Maybe she didn't read it right. I said, are you a Maine voter? Yes, I'm a Maine voter. I said, okay. Do you support same-sex marriage? Yes, I do. I said, well, sign right here, lady. And so we got her right. She filled out the voter ID thing and where she was from, and she was filling it out. And her husband came up while she was doing that, and she said to him, "Did you find it?" He says, I don't know if I've got the right size. He says, but he reached in his pocket, and out of his pocket he pulled the tiniest little infant's t-shirt I ever saw. It said, Machias Blueberry Festival, 2009. And she looked at us, and she said, that's for our grandbaby that my son and his partner just adopted in California. One other thing happened that was just remarkable in Machias. We had a young volunteer guy, 21, 22 years old, doing the whole, running around with a clipboard, are you a Maine voter, and getting people to sign that they were going to pledge that they were going to vote no on 1 in November. And he told us that he was in one of the churches that was sponsoring the festival, and that's where the bathrooms were. So he was in the church, and just waiting, talking to people, and somebody came over to him and says, how dare you? How dare you bring that, pointing at the clipboard, into the house of the Lord? How dare you? Completely offended. This poor kid, before he could say a word, somebody from the church came over and said, excuse me, we are an open and affirming church, and he is welcome here. And if that makes you uncomfortable, perhaps you should leave. This is Machias, Maine. This is not Portland. This is not Agunquit. This is not Boston, which is what? Portland South, right? This is Machias. If these little miracles can happen in Machias, when college is not in session, when it's just local people doing what's right and speaking up for justice, we can do this. We can do this in November. Write big checks, though.